So a lot of us were waiting to see if what was going to happen between Yordenis Ugas and Imantis Stanionis. As we know, the or Yordenis Ugas is the WBA super champion at 147, and WBA moves real funny, man. We got the Stanionis dude get to skip past all these other dudes that you know, like other dudes that's in line to fight Ugas, and this dude Stanionis just jumped the line and shit like that. It's crazy, but it is what it is. So Ugas petitioned to fight Errol Spence because he wants to unify, and the WBA using the excuse that they're trying to, they were going through this thing where they were trying to get rid of certain belts. So I guess they got rid of the regular WBA regular and all this other stuff. So they trying to say, I believe Stanionis was supposed to be Ugas mandatory, but here's the thing: even if it was the case, the old adage goes that unification is supposed to trump mandatories, and lately we've been seeing that that's not even the case as much, man, anymore. It's crazy. But the WBA has blocked the Errol Spence versus Yordenis Ugas fight. And to be honest, man, I wanted to see, I don't care who it is, whether it's Errol or Terence Crawford, I wanted to see somebody get that belt off of Ugas so we can get into this Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford fight for undisputed. But that looks like the likelihood of that happening, at least right now, is slim to none. That's kind of fucked up because that kind of puts a hold on the undisputed at 147. It kind of screws things up. Thanks, WBA. But anyway, you can look at it two ways. You kind of look at it like, well, if they blocked Errol Spence from fighting Ugas, then that lessens the chance that Errol Spence could lose his belts and have him ready to jump into a Terence Crawford fight. You can look at it that way too. And, you can look at it either like a blessing or a curse, or a blessing or a curse. I don't know, but here's the thing: where does that leave Errol Spence? There, like I said, I don't know. I've looked around. I've watched other channels. I'm not gonna say them channels' names. They're not getting no glory over here. It's been said that since now there won't be an Errol Spence versus Yordenis Ugas fight, that Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. will be going into negotiations for their fight, for their mega fight. Word confirmation on that, we haven't seen it. At least I haven't. I looked on numerous boxing websites. I can't find it yet. I'm not sure where these dudes get their information from. Maybe they just guessing and just acting like they got information that none of us just can't obtain. I don't know. But I'm just gonna put it out there. Maybe that is the case. But it's all up to Errol if he's gonna do this. Then I'm hearing that Errol Spence is not fighting at all in 2022. So I don't know how true that is either. Shout out to IOTA Boxing, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to E Thriller and all of them, man. Y'all go over to E Thriller, man. His live is popping right now, man. His lives. E Thriller and Jalik the Leader, man, got the dopest lives. And Bushido Boxing. Them lives right there be lit. I'll be fucking with they lives. But what's my recommendations? Let's just say that they are going into negotiations, and let's say Terence Crawford agrees. What should happen? What are my recommendations? When I mean recommendations, it's kind of like Errol Spence, to be honest. I kind of touched on this on over on E Thriller's live. A lot of people gonna feel different about it. Everybody got their own opinion. Now, I look at it from the standpoint of, I think the fight should be next, but it shouldn't be yet. I think it should be next. They should come up with some kind of special agreement where these two dudes agree to fight next. They sign on it. They take care of all of the bids and all of that stuff. It took the purses, everything is taken care of. But they give Errol a little bit more time to, I guess, get himself into tip-top shape for Terence Crawford, and also get Terence Crawford prepared and more ready for the fight. Give them some time. This is a mega fight, so I want them to be on par with each other. I didn't want Errol to go in there and his eye really ain't the best, right? And then when Bud beats his ass or beat him, everybody gonna build an excuse and say Errol didn't. He should never went into the fight because his eye wasn't fully healed. You know, I was looking at it from that standpoint, because when that happens, that robs Bud of greatness when shit like that happens. So, on the other hand, Errol Spence did say he wants to come right out and fight a champion. That's what he said. So, fuck it. At the same time, okay, bro, we assuming now then that your eye is okay. So then step in there with the big dog, Terence Crawford. Now, a lot of people also believe that wasn't his intentions when he typed that he's stepping up into fight a champion. He probably thought he was going to fight Yordenis Ugas. You know, but now you see WBA jammed Ugas up. There is no more Ugas. We can pretty much scratch Yordenis Ugas off the table. So, more than likely, when Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fight, it will not be for undisputed. That's the problem I got with this thing. That's the problem I have with it. See, in order for them to fight undisputed, that would mean Yordenis Ugas will have to come up off the belt. Whoever, it doesn't really matter who. Actually, Ugas don't have to come up off the belt. He could win and defend his title against Stanionis, or Stanionis could beat him and take the title. One of those two are going to be the other missing piece of the puzzle. So somebody got to get to him, unless Ugas drops the belt. And I'm not sure how that will work, where they'll create maybe a tournament and somebody fight for the WBA belt. That would probably throw Keith Thurman back in the mix. And, you know, I don't want to see those fights right now. I want to see Thurman fight them dudes. But the likelihood of that happening at 147 is highly unlikely, because Errol Spence already talking about moving up to 154. Terence Crawford is also talking about it. So I don't know if Keith Thurman fights any of these dudes, fights Errol or Terence Crawford. Maybe, maybe not. Or maybe Thurman will move up. Or maybe Keith Thurman is a non-factor. But for sure, Yordenis Ugas and Amantis Stanionis they're the wrenches in the game right now. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen with this Errol Spence Terence Crawford fight, because I'm sure they know if they fight for undisputed, you know, they're Bud's people and Errol's people. They know that that's gonna be even bigger fight if they're fighting for all of the marbles. So how in the hell? I'm confused. I don't know how it's gonna work. How the hell is the fight gonna be stalled because of what the WBA did? How the hell is Errol Spence or Terence Crawford gonna get their hands on that belt? So I'm a little confused with that. That's like a pickle, man, because I want to see them fight for all the marbles. I want to see somebody become undisputed. A lot of these divisions, the belts are too scattered, and we won't see undisputed anytime soon. At least at 135, we almost there. 147, we are like partly there. 140 is already complete. 130, half and half. You know, 126, that's scattered. The belts are scattered all over the place at 126. You know what I'm saying? 154, we're about to have another undisputed go at it between Brian Castano and Jamel Charlo too. You know what I'm saying? 160, scattered. So we're not gonna see undisputed in none of those divisions. So the only divisions that we're close to undisputed is 135, 154, and 147. Those are like the closest. Those three right there. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with this fight because, like I said, either they're gonna go into the fight with less the WBA belt, or somebody gonna have to figure out something, or somebody's gonna have to fight somebody and risk their belts. It's gonna have to be Errol Spence eventually or Terence Crawford. A lot of people don't believe that Errol Spence is even gonna fight Bud. They think he's gonna skip past Bud and go right up to 154 and not become undisputed. But at the same time, Errol Spence said he's not leaving 147 without becoming undisputed or fighting for undisputed. So this thing could drag out longer than I thought, man. Simply because of the WBA. WBA is causing a major holdup right now, And at the same time, you can blame the WBA, but then you can't really blame them at the same time because eventually somebody's gonna have to fight for the belt. Somebody. That's the only way one of them gonna get the belts, and then we're gonna see an undisputed fight. Otherwise, we're just gonna see a unification. We're not gonna see it undisputed. And I wanted to see undisputed, and that settles everything. And then whoever it is, they can just move up and try to conquer the next division. Very interesting to see how this is going to play out. Let me know what you guys think, how this is going to play out. My recommendation is for Errol Spence and Terence Crawford to go ahead and fight, because there's no need to drag it any longer. I don't see them lining up to fight Yordenis or Ugas anytime soon. I could be wrong. And if they do, it'll be somewhere down the end of the year. And then I'll push the fight between Bud and Errol to like 2023 or some stupid shit like that. And I don't want to see that. So I recommend, hey, Bud and Errol sign a special agreement. Let them lock the fight in. And they can't fight anybody else until they fight first. So Errol can get into better shape. So we can't hear the excuses that they're going to try to rob Bud of his glory and legacy if he beats Errol Spence. And then Bud has time to train for Errol too. So they both go in there tip-top shape and may the best man win, man. That's just a recommendation for him. That's what I would recommend. Nobody else gets in the way. Let these two dudes, these are the two top dogs of the division. Let them prime themselves up and get themselves geared up for this mega fight that'll potentially even probably end up being a fucking trilogy. You never know. We'll see. It depends on how good of a fighter these dudes are, But anyway, know what you think. Drop a comment, like, and subscribe. Catch you guys later. This is Rebel Life Boxing, and I'm off this.